I turned 28 this year and I have a net worth of $133,000. That puts me in roughly the top 10% of people under 35. And what's crazy to me is that I did not think that that was a flex. Because when I think of being wealthier than 90% of people, I think of someone who has maybe a $250,000 net worth, $500,000, $1 million even. And I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree, but the reality is there are so many people out there living paycheck to paycheck or living above their means or living financed by some sort of credit that they don't have assets on the side. They don't have investment vehicles making them money and building them a true net worth. And in my early 20s, I was very much a part of that camp. I had little to no savings, no investments at all, just vibes and hopes and dreams. And I have gone from that place to a place where I have plenty of savings, a diverse, thriving investment portfolio, and a peace and an independence with my finances that I just did not have before. So in this video, I'm gonna let you know not only what I did, but what I wish I did sooner in order to get here. Now, before I really dive in, I just want to exclaim here that some of this is going to sound a little basic. If you're someone who already regularly contributes to your 401k and has a brokerage account and a Roth IRA and different investment vehicles that I'll share more about later in the video, this probably is not going to be life-changing to you. But if any of the things I just mentioned are new to you, then definitely keep watching. I want to remind you again, with a net worth of 133k, people don't hear 133k and think, wow, my life has changed. But the average person 25 to 29 is only about 30 to 31.5k net worth. But this very basic stuff has allowed me to be at almost 5x the net worth of the average person my age. But with that out of the way, let me tell you the first shift that you need to make in order to be more wealthy than 90% of your peers. Investments are mandatory. I really wish I understood this sooner. To put it into perspective for you guys, this concept of net worth is really built on the amount of cash that you have on hand, right? And at a certain point, it gets very hard to save a considerable amount of net worth. To give you some real numbers to ground into, I make on my W-2 last year, I made $155k. Notice that that is less than the net worth that I have, and that's because a lot of the money coming in is going to bills and food and little things that come up in the world. You cannot really save every penny, so it's very hard to save your way to wealth, which is where investments come in, because investments introduce the concept of compound growth and interest. These are exclusive to investments because when you save money, at best in a high yield savings account, you're gonna get maybe 1% back. One of the best high yield savings accounts that I had was 3% back, and they even rolled that number back, so I get less than that now. So that cap is at a very low threshold. If I put $1 in, then in 5 years, the most I can have is $1.05. Versus when you are investing, I just opened up my brokerage and my all-time gains is 59%. And I'd honestly say that 5 years is about the time that I've been seriously investing. So instead of the $1.05, imagine I now get $1.50. I'm not a math person, you guys. Probably the wrong thing to say while making this video, but I'm just gonna be real. Yes, okay, it's 159. And you're probably not gagged. Like $1.50, what is it? Let me tell you in terms of my actual portfolio. So when I started off with my investments, not really taking it seriously, what I have here is equivalent to about $24,000. Whoa, wait, cut the cameras. Sorry, you guys, this is editing Imani. I had to pop in here because I did not explain that properly. When I say that I started with 24,000, I'm not saying that I put in 24,000 at one time. I put in that 24,000 day by day, dollar by dollar over the last 5 years. So that 24,000 is equivalent to what I myself have put in over 5 years, and you're gonna hear me explain how I have 14,000 on top of that money because I invested it. Now, as I move that forward into 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, that is a gain of $14,000. You cannot save your way to $14,000 unless you make $14,000 more dollars. The $14,000 that appeared, that manifested in my investment portfolio were the result of either dividends or the stocks themselves appreciating. And I wanted to spend a lot of time there breaking down the numbers for you guys and really explaining this concept so it drives home why this is something that's mandatory and not something that you do when you feel like it. One of my biggest mistakes early on was feeling like throwing money into my Robinhood brokerage was something fun that I could do with a little extra cash on the side. It's not an extra, it is what you must do in order to accumulate wealth. Now, kind of a sub point that I want to bring up with this is your investment vehicles. What I just broke down for you guys specifically was just my individual brokerage account with Robinhood. But this Robinhood account is actually one of, I think, 3 or 4 investment vehicles that I'm using. And I'll quickly share the other ones with you. So in addition to my Robinhood, I'm also contributing, I think it's 7% right now, to my 401k with work. I'm contributing what I think is an additional 4% to my employee stock purchases with the company I work for. I contribute $250 a month to a health savings account. And then I contribute an additional $250 to a Roth IRA that I have with Vanguard. If you really want to boss up, all of that is on auto pay. It happens without me worrying about it, so that by the time that I'm seeing what's coming in my checking account, it is just the money I get to play with. And I'm kind of employing that concept of pay yourself first with my investments. So you've set up your brokerage account, you've set up your IRA, you have these recurring investments. Now what? Girl, just sit and wait. Sit and wait. Wait for that money. When that money goes away, that money does not exist to you anymore. It is not yours to spend. Do not touch it. It does not exist to you. Which brings me to my next point, which is that you need to earn more and spend less. Wow, super easy, right? Let me just make money, right? No. And I even hesitate putting this point in here with the job market that is existing. My company literally just went through a huge round of layoffs, so I know that it's hard, but I can't make this video and I can't be honest about my progress without mentioning that, because that is another part of why I'm able to invest as aggressively as I do at my age. Before I got my current job, I had hopped jobs at least 3 or 4 times just trying to make that $2, $3 an hour more, and it really does help. I want to keep it to what you're able to do regardless of what your earning is, so I won't spend too much time on that, but what I'll leave you with on earn more, spend less is continue to make those little incremental improvements. And the younger that you are, the less that it matters how much you start with because of that compound interest. And there are whole like calculators you can use to illustrate this online. I may throw a graph up here. Long story short, if you put in $1 at 20, that is worth more in 10 years than if you put that $1 in at 25 and wait the 5 years, if that makes sense. I hope it does. And the last thing that I wish I did sooner is get a credit card. I don't know if this is unique to Black Americans or first generation Americans. My parents really instilled a fear of credit cards in me when I was younger, and I don't think they meant to do it on purpose, but any time that I heard credit card, it was used kind of negatively. Credit cards cause you to get in debt. Credit card companies just want to take your money from you, blah, blah, blah. And I wish that I had done my own research sooner, because what I realized in my mid-20s was that credit cards are actually a great vehicle and a great way to build wealth should you use them properly. So I'm gonna steal something out of Caleb Hammer's book. If anybody watches him, he says that there are credit card people and there are not credit card people. And it's low-key true, because a credit card can only work for you if you have a certain level of discipline. That level of discipline is that you don't spend more than what you have. So how I use my credit card is literally just to get points. There are different types of credit cards. I won't go into all that, but at the basic level, a credit card has a point system, a reward system, and you get cash back or credit for things that you spend on. So how I use that to my advantage is I use my credit card for my food, for my transportation throughout my city, for things that I would use a debit card for anyway. And then I just collect that cash back and get my points back. That is how you use a credit card smartly. I never overspend. If I don't have the money to pay it back in my checking account, I will not be using my credit card for that purchase. If that sounds like something that you can do too, congratulations, you're a credit card person. Get one. If not, maybe get a secured line of credit, start off small, but I really don't think that you should be missing out on the opportunity to get free points and build your credit. I can't find like a true cumulative number, but I would be confident saying I have earned at least at least 2K of free money from my credit cards. So those were 3 ways that I have become wealthier than 90% of my peers at 27 years old. I really hope you found this helpful. If there's anything that I talked about in this video that you guys want to know more about, lines of credit, types of investment accounts to have, please let me know. I really wanted this video to be kind of succinct, so I didn't deep dive into any of that, but I'm happy to do that later. And if there's anything that I missed as far as wealth building that you've seen successful in your life, drop that wisdom. I'm really excited to see what conversation comes from it. I hope to see you guys again soon, and have a great day. Bye.